pay off debt. And today, a lot of people are going to get upset with me. The number one debt that I'm going to focus and hound on today is credit cards. Credit cards are literally the ultimate, credit cards are the worst. Let me just put it that way. The interest rates that you accrue on credit cards are ridiculous. And this is not just me saying this. I'm going to play a video for y'all from Warren Buffett where he was talking exactly about this topic.
I think people should avoid using credit cards as a piggy bank to be rated. I had a woman come to see me here not long ago, and she'd come on some money, and not very much, but it was a lot to her. And she's a friend of mine, and she said, "What should I do with it?" And I said, "Well, what do you owe on your credit card?" And she said, "Well, I owe X." And I said, "Well, what you should do," I don't know what interest rate she was paying, but I think, I think I asked her and she knew, and it was something like 18% or something. I said, "I don't know how to make 18%. If I owed any money at 18%, the first thing I do with any money I had would be to pay it off. It's going to be way better than any investment idea I've got." And that wasn't what she wanted to hear. And then later on in the conversation, she talked about her daughter, and her daughter had $1,000 or $2,000 or something, and she said, "Well, what should I do with?" And she named the girls money, and I said, "Have her lend it to you." And I mean, if you're willing to pay 18% or whatever, she's not going to find a better deal. I'll lend you money. It just doesn't make sense. You can't go through life, borrowing money at those rates and be better off. So I encourage everybody. It's contrary to my own or Berkshire's interests in certain cases, and the world is in love with credit cards, but.
And that's the thing. Like, this is coming from Warren Buffett, billionaire investor, one of the people that let me put it this way, that I admire when it comes to investing. And he's just advising everybody like, yo, stay away from credit cards because those rates are ridiculous. No matter what kind of investment you make on the back end, the rates on credit cards are ridiculous. And that's the problem with it. And this is coming from somebody who owns American Express, who owns majority shares in some of the largest credit cards in the world. And so he's coming out and saying, hey, you should probably not make a credit card because no matter what investment, or you shouldn't be using your credit card willy-nilly. You should pay that bad boy off as fast as you can without accruing all these charges and all these things. Because at the end of the day, you just can't make, let me think about it this way. The best return that you can make from investments is about 10%. Most credit cards start out about 12 to 18 to 20%. So no matter what kind of investments that you're making, you're not making 20% worth of an investment. So paying off your credit card is so key. That's the next thing. It's like, pay off that. Get out of that. Get out of that whole credit card game. And then the next one is, and a lot of people going to come for me again, is car loans. Car loans can be so hampering. It can be so hampering to you being able to make progress for the stuff later on in the steps. And the main reason I have a problem with car loans is maybe not right now with the whole Rona things and cars being sold at 0% APR. Now, my main problem with car loans is that I'm basically paying for a car that is going to lose value over time, but I'm paying for that value that is being lost over time at an interest. It's not like I'm a conglomerate or I'm a CEO of a company where I can depreciate the value of the car over time. No, I'm not a business. I don't get those same tax initiatives. I'm an individual. And so instead of me depreciating, it's actually appreciating because you keep on paying interest on the car. And it just eats into your budget. It just eats into your monthly budget. And so the next thing is to get that thing out. Get that thing out as fast as you can. If you can manage it, just step up and destroy that bad boy out of there so you don't have to think about it. It is much better for you to buy a much cheaper car that you can afford. And this is the other problem with things like debt and loans and credit cards. We buy more than we can afford. And that's the main problem, is we end up buying more than we can actually afford at the time. Instead of us to save and buy the thing one time and move on. Because what ends up happening is if you have to save for something, you're probably not going to want to spend as much. You will actually buy what you can actually afford. So that's the thing with a car loan. Like it just loses value and you're paying more for something that has lost value over time. That's not a good investment. That's why people say cars are the worst investments you can have, because at the end of the day, it's losing value. It's losing you value over time. But anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox